because I've recently gotten into smutty books. I mean, like I've read some before, like I read the 50 Shades of Grey and whatever, but now I'm into like the audiobooks and the books. I'm
Yeah.
loving like Megan Quinn. She is one of my favorites. And you guys, like, you have a whole brand around smut, which is amazing. Tell me how this whole thing got started.
It's absolutely insane. And honestly, the story of how it started is kind of my favorite because Marissa and I grew up together. We've known each other since we were in sixth grade. And in 2022, I moved back to Nashville and we like rekindled our friendship. And every time that we would hang out, I would be reading on my phone because I have my Kindle app on my phone. And she's like, "Can you put the book away? Like, what are you reading? Nothing is so important that you have to be reading." And I'm like, "Just try it. Just try it." I spent an entire year convincing her to start reading smut. And she finally did. She started with 365 days. She had watched the movie and found out that it was a book also. So she she started reading the books and she read all three of them in like a week and a half and was obsessed and was like, "I need more." And shortly after that, she texted me and was like, "We should start a book club." And I'm like, "I don't know." I was really iffy at first because I'm like, we both have really bad anxiety. And we're just, in my mind, I'm like, who's going to come? No one's going to come. Like, I was so scared. And she's like, "No, we can do it. We can do it. Like monthly meetups, we'll just talk about books." I was like, "All right." So we created the Facebook group. And the first week we had like 50 followers. I still have a text message of us celebrating, like, we have 47 followers. It's so surreal to look back at it now. But yeah, it just started. We started in September of 2023. And October, we had our first meetup, and it was kind of like a Halloween party meetup. And we had 11 people come. And at that point, like we were a month in and we had about 200 people in the group. And it was insane, like the growth that it was getting. But we sat around a table, we played card games to like get to know each other. And then every month after that, we were like, we need to plan something fun. And so we would be doing month after month, we would do some kind of activity while also talking about the books that we were reading. And we knew early on that it was really important that like inclusivity is just really important to us. So because we see so many, in worldwide groups talking about books, so many people hating on certain things and don't yuck somebody else's yum kind of thing. And we didn't want to be like that. So as long as it was appropriate, you could talk about whatever, like, and just this was your spot. This was, and I say appropriate as in legal. It was insane. And more people started coming to meetups and the group just got bigger. We decided to move it onto Instagram because we could reach more people than Facebook. We had celebrated 500 followers on Instagram in February, and we have like 4,600 now or something like that. It's ridiculous. I have no idea how this happened.
I was
And
just going to ask you how it happened. Before the Instagram growth, just the local book club growth is
yeah,
super expensive. I mean, that's super, super like amazing, especially if it's a Facebook group, because I feel like engagement on Facebook, that's like the worst place to like grow. And you guys grew that locally. Was that just like word of mouth? How did that happen?
yeah, because there are a lot of groups on Facebook that don't allow you to promote other groups within them. So we had to find ones that did allow that, and we would just post on there. And if people saw it, they saw it. The algorithm is so tricky. And so it was really December of the, this past December, we had finally hit 1,000 on Facebook.
Wow.
And
That's all local people, I'm assuming, because these are your
yeah,
local meetups. That is wild. And then
yeah.
on Instagram, I mean, I follow, I'm not in Nashville. I would love to be part of your in-person book club. But Instagram makes a little bit more sense, but that's still insane growth in a short amount of time. And I was going to ask you how, but you said you don't know how. It just happened.
I think I we did our first merch launch in February, and I really think after we hosted Tempted is when things really picked up a little bit
Tell me about
because
Tempted. What's Tempted?
So we decided Tempted was planned. It was always an idea, but it was actually planned very last minute. So Tempted by Fiction is the book festival that we created where, it was really like shining the light on indie authors, these authors that have a couple hundred followers on Instagram and that, are trying to get out there. And a lot of them were members of our group. They just started off as members and they would message us and ask if they could post about their book. And we're like, of course. So it kind of started with that. We're like, we want to get them out there. And then we were like, we need to have vendors too, because there's spicy book vendors selling sex toys. There's people who sell, Kindle cases and book boyfriend stuff. I mean, there's so much bookish merch. And so it was just perfect. And Tempted was created, and we planned the entire thing in 3 months. And we had 22 vendors, two book trucks, 20 vendors, including us, and it was phenomenal. We're still learning the ropes of marketing and the algorithm of social media and everything. We had a little over 300 people show up, and
That's
people,
wild. Like just the fact that
yeah,
you were just like, oh, let's just execute this idea and you've never done anything like it before. That's huge.
it. We have people telling us they came up to our table and they're like, "We drove 2 hours for this."
I would fly next year. I would fly to Nashville to attend Tempted 100%.
Well, and next year we plan to have the Spring Tempted bigger, where I think we're planning for a little over 100 vendors this time. And we have authors who have applied for next year that are all over the country. And we're literally like, we have been sobbing because we just don't, we're just, it's incredible. It really is.
Tell me how you have monetized. Let's start small and go bigger because I know you do more than just Tempted. Talk about how, or if you are, what you are monetizing and what you're not monetizing. Like you said, in February, you did merch. Do you monetize the local book club? How do you make money for Tempted? Like, explain how you are turning these bookish passions into profits.
So really, we haven't like personally profited a dime. Every single thing that we've made has gone back into the book club, but the merch was the first time that we were able to like create a bank account, hold money, and actually like we used a lot of that money to start paying for things for our circus event in December. So it was nice to like, we used it to pay for our website. We used it, it's going back into the book club, but that was the first time, and it was just, we were blown away by the sales for that. We did sweatsuits.
I'm
Um,
obsessed. I love a
yes,
sweatsuit. Did it match
they,
a matching sweatsuit?
yes.
Stop.
They were so cute and comfortable, and everyone really liked them. I still wear mine all the
Hell
time.
yeah. A matching
Um,
sweatsuit. That's like a millennial's dream.
And my favorite part was the pants options. You could get it without saying anything. They could say smut lovers or it could say good girl. And the good girl on the butt was a hit. They sold like
I
crazy.
cannot. Do we have more? Or do you have an extra like set
I,
laying around for me?
I think we're planning on bringing them back because
Bring them back.
everyone was obsessed with them. So, but we actually found a local girl. She's part-time stay-at-home mom, part-time work, and she like does this for fun. It's also her business, but we met her on Facebook and we were like, we really want to give you access to the website, and she made every item to order. So it was not like purchasing a bulk amount of items and shipping them. As soon as the order came in, she got it, she made it, and she shipped it out herself. And we just sent her the materials of like poly mailers and stuff like that. So it was great, and we used her again for the second round that we did. This round was a tank tops, t-shirts, and shorts, and they had spicier sayings on them. So
Yes. Wait, do we have matching sets with the t-shirts and shorts?
the shorts they technically match because they have our logo on them, but the shorts this time around we didn't do anything on the butt.
Okay.
And we learned we're like that people definitely prefer the writing on the butt. We've never done this, so this was like a learning experience for us to figure out what everyone likes. But the tank tops and the t-shirts, they all have the saying on it with our logo, so Yeah,
What
we
are
put in
some of the
together.
sayings? You said some of them are spicier. What are they?
So one of them actually is the first line in the article in the Nashville scene that got written about us, and it's the shirt that I was wearing. And it says, "The only thing I like more than fucking is reading books."
Did it actually spell the word out?
It sure did. And my parents read that article and they're like, "Alexa, are you serious?" And I was like, "I'm sorry." But so
I'm
that one,
sorry, Mom and Dad. But it could be worse.
it really could be. I was like, "It's just a funny saying. It's okay. I didn't mean it." But it was really funny. And the other one, that one is like hit or miss. Like people either really love it and think it's funny, or
Yeah, or
they
it's
don't
like a
like
little
it.
too far. Like I can't wear
Yeah,
that one at home because my
yeah,
children are know how to read.
exactly. And the other one was just hot girls read books.
Yeah, I
And
have
then
that
we
one.
okay, yeah, and then we had just our logo in the center. So
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, I love it. Okay, so we have the merch. That's how you started making money. What about the local book club? Do people pay to come?
No, that is completely free. We plan the meetups. We were doing once a month, and now we've been doing so many like partnering with other like book groups in the community that, there's a couple a month going on now. But the meetups are free. The only time they pay for something is if we're doing an activity and they need to bring supplies. But usually we'll provide it, or it's just a free event, or we'll be at a coffee shop so you might buy your coffee or something like that. But
Yeah.
the meetup itself is free, yeah.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Somebody needs to start can you start like franchising or licensing so we can get a Palm Beach smut so I can participate? It just sounds like too much work for me to start on my own. One thing I do want to do, and you probably know her, Slow Burn, the book.
Yeah,
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 she was on my podcast a few episodes ago, and I was like, now I need to buy a trailer
yeah,
fill it with books and have like this bookstore on wheels. Like she's totally like convinced me that I want to do that.
yeah. And now we have 3 book trucks in Nashville, which is crazy. But Slowburn just had, I don't know if you saw, she just had her like 1 year anniversary. So we went to that event. That was fun. Yeah,
Nashville's such a great city for that stuff. Like y'all are
yeah.
so trendy there.
The book community too here is insane. And everyone is just it's amazing to see the way that everyone has come together, and it's not like competition. It's just we all like the same thing and we all want the same thing. Let's work together. And it's just been amazing. We just did a collab with Trivia Book Club and it was so much fun.
Do you guys just think like, what could we do? That's tons of work that we've never done before and execute it. And then you execute it flawlessly.
That's really funny because we the circus has been planned since November. We did a masquerade last November, and we're not party planners. None of us do that for a living. And we were thinking about the theme for next year, and we knew we needed more time to plan it. Lauren, who helps run the group with us, she's like a creative partner as well as Tyler Billings, and she was in the circus world for work for years with her husband. And she was like, what if we do sexy circus? There's smut books revolved around it. It's fun, and, make it a holiday party. So this has been in the works since November, and actually bringing it to life has been a trip, but it's been so fun. We're very close to, it happening. Tickets end November 6th. We've sold out of all the VIP, all the preferred seating, so only GA is left. We've hired everybody. Now it's just like we're making a seating chart and putting the final details, but it's basically just it's an end of the year party. We're celebrating another great year of smutty books, and we're just gonna have fun together. Everyone there is a smut reader. That's the thing that we all have in common. That is what makes every meetup that we go to fun for everyone, because we all, at the end of the day, like we have this one thing in common. But we have people coming from all over the country for that too, which is mind blowing to me because like I just it's more than we ever imagined, but it's so cool to see all of these people together. And yeah.
I know you're like into planning these things you've never done before. My next suggestion for you is a smut book retreat so I can attend that as well. That would be
You know,
fun.
that's actually funny because we have someone who does book retreats. They're not like specific types of books or anything, but she had reached out to us and was like, let me know. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's do it, Alexa, because I need to be like a part of this all the way down here in Florida. I'm feeling the FOMO. So tell me what the biggest learning lesson or experience has been since you started the book club.
The whole thing has been a learning experience. Like every
Yeah.
single day, literally every single day, we're learning something new. I think just managing, we learned how to make a website on our own. We learned how to market on our own. We've learned, really how to deal with our own anxiety, which is like a huge thing because so many people, we do polls on like, we have so many people in the group, but like, why aren't you coming to meetups? Like,
Yeah.
what are you
It's
feeling?
too
And
people-y out there. That's why we read.
yes, yes, and that's what it is social anxiety, and we're like, we get it, and that's like something that we try to tell people is, you don't have to worry about being forced to talk. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to talk. Like, just come and hang out. But just learning to really, we're hosting these meetups and we have to talk in front of everybody. So just everything has been learning to, really connect with people, reach out to sponsors and authors and get people that see if people want to be involved with us. Really putting ourselves out there is terrifying, and thankfully it's been really great. But yeah, we're also learning how to run a business because it turned into a business so
Yeah.
fast and out of nowhere, that because once we like started, making money, we were like, okay, this is it, like this is ours, it's time to move forward. And it's all every day something new.
Now, do you and Marissa have other jobs? Do you do other things? Like, what is your day-to-day like? I have to imagine you're like making money elsewhere.
Yeah, we both are full-time nannies. So full-time jobs, and during the day we're, when the kids are taking a nap or having their downtime, we're on our laptops doing stuff for Nashville Smut. I mean, we're literally doing things for both jobs all day long. Nashville Smut, it starts at like 7 a.m. and then it goes on until we're up until like 11 midnight sometimes doing
Yep.
stuff. So, but we wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, that's the life of a business owner. Like you don't clock in and clock out. You're just
Yeah.
always on.
Yeah.
But is it still fun for you? Because a lot of times when you turn your hobby or your passion into a job, sometimes it's like, this isn't as fun as I thought it would be.
It's honestly, someone actually asked me that at our last meetup. It's more fun now than it was in the beginning, I think, because
Good.
so many more people are involved, and the partnerships and the connections and the collabs that we're doing with other like book clubs in the community, it just makes it so much better. And people also feeling more comfortable to talk about sex or talk about the books that they read. It's more fun now because we're reaching more people. So yeah, we're still fully in love with it.
That's good. You mentioned you're learning all kinds of things and how to market. That's huge. There's so much under the marketing umbrella. What piece of advice would you give to somebody when it comes to marketing a bookish business? Like any small thing where you were like, this specifically is where I saw success.
If you're marketing on Instagram, Reels, and use hashtags, pictures do not go as far as a reel does. And we had a couple of reels go viral. One of them has like 130,000 likes. Same with TikTok. Like, post your TikToks consistently, even if they don't get a ton of likes. I've got like four in a row that'll get 30 likes, and then the next one will get 10,000. So be like consistent and don't let yourself get discouraged if you're plateauing for a little bit. So definitely with the marketing, that's what we've learned. Let's just keep pushing, and reels do better.
Any rhyme or reason why those reels went viral? Everybody that I've talked to who have had similar stories, they're like, I spent 3 hours on this one, nobody cared. I spent 5 seconds on this one, and that's the one that went viral. Like, is there any way you can recreate this wheel that you had success with, or are you just like, fingers crossed, hope this one works?
It's fingers crossed every single time. It's Every single time. We just had a TikTok go viral. It has like 45,000 likes right now. I whipped that up in about 5 minutes at 11 p.m.
What's the
And
content on that one?
that one, I think you saw it on our Instagram too. It was the where they're like being dragged out of the screen by in different ways. It was like the Bugatti trend.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah, it was that one. But that one didn't get as many likes on Instagram, but on TikTok it went crazy.
That is funny. Okay, yes, 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 the Bugatti one. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so that one was a trend. What
Yes.
what about the other ones that went viral on Instagram? Were those trends or were those just like I don't know why that went viral. It just did. What was the content on those?
The one that went viral on Instagram, like really viral, was kind of a trend on TikTok. I hadn't seen it on TikTok or on Instagram as much, but it didn't do well on TikTok, but it did on Instagram. Another one that has a little over 8,000 likes on TikTok. I whipped that up in 5 minutes. And no idea why. I just also testing out different times, of posting different hours of the day. We just can't figure out what the answer is.
I don't think anybody can figure it out. And a lot of people who say they have it figured out, I think they're lying. Because I mean, really, when it's a tricky thing to do. And then of course, like I've had some things go viral, but of course, the things that I've had that go viral have nothing to do with books. They're my random like one-offs. Like
Yeah.
my son playing Hangman went viral because he was like looking down and reading his shirt and it was funny. That one went
Yeah.
viral. My shout out to my stay-at-home dad husband went viral. It's like me pranking my dad went viral. It's like, you guys, why can't anybody give a shit about the book posts? Like,
Yeah.
why's it got to be all this other stuff? Like, it's not helpful to me.
Yeah.
Because if you went viral for something bookish, then that's your people and they're finding you and then they're following you and engaging with you. Like, but it's a tricky thing. Okay. So any mistakes you want to share where you're like, okay, I did this. I do not advise this.
Definitely, if you're planning an event, this was a big thing that we learned and why we started working on Circus so early is like with events, market very like as far in advance as you can. We made the mistake of, waiting, I think I think we started in August and the event was November 2nd. And that one was very small. It was still fun, but it definitely didn't get the traction that we had hoped and wasn't as big as we had hoped. And that was like the biggest thing that we learned. But like as far as like mistakes, there hasn't really been anything that's been that like comes to mind that, was major. Oh, we need to learn from this and move forward.
Anything you would do different if you had to start all over and do it again?
Get Instagram sooner and TikTok.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Definitely. Tempted in the spring. We haven't released the details of like the date, time, and location yet, but we did just sign the contract for it this week, so it will be coming out soon. But that will be a little over 100 vendors and authors and tattoos, piercings, like all the same fun things that we've had at our last events. And it'll be in the heart of Nashville. So
I love the heart of Nashville so much.
yeah.
Tell me what you are reading now and what the last best book you read was, or just give me all of the smutty book recommendations. Like for me, I'm always like, if you want to start with smut, Megan Quinn is your girl because her rom-coms are hilarious
Hmm.
and her smut is like top notch. So what would you recommend?
I am currently reading the Mindfuck series, which by S.T. Abbey, which is not quite smut. I mean, there's, a little bit in there so far. I don't know. There's 5 books in the series. That one is a little heavier than the normal smut. My absolute favorite is a dark romance, and it is definitely not for the faint of heart. It's The Sinner by Chantal Tessier. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know if she pronounces the R, but have you heard of The Sinner?
I can picture the cover, but I
It's
haven't read this one because I find that a lot of the smut is dark romance, and I don't think I've really done dark romance. Like, is 50 Shades of Grey dark romance? Is the Twisted Love series dark romance? That's like if we're rating dark romance, that would be like more mild, right?
I think 50 Shades is definitely, I haven't actually read it, but if we're going off of the movie, it's lighter just because it's regular BDSM, and dark romance is things that are like questionable. So,
Okay. Okay.
um,
So that you would recommend The Sinner if people want to start with a dark romance situation.
if they want to start with dark romance, probably not with that one because they'll probably never go back. They will probably run away terrified.
Okay, how would you warm somebody up? With like Megan Quinn, where they're giggling
Um,
in the smut scenes?
Maybe, honestly, for dark, like I feel like the ritual is like a good. The ritual's also, still got some controversial things in it, but she likes to be drugged, and
Oh,
it's interesting.
okay.
But yes, the ritual also by Chantal Tessier is very good, and that one's a good, I think, entry. Haunting Adeline is another one that's
I've
very
heard
controversial.
so much about that book and I haven't read it. And I'm like, do I need to read this? Because that's like everybody's go-to when they talk about a smutty dark romance.
Yeah, Haunting is definitely, you either love it or you hate it. There's no in between. I absolutely loved it. Marissa is actually someone who didn't like it at all.
Okay.
She did not finish it. It's a stalker romance. Love it. I think he's super romantic. He cut someone's hands off for her.
Hence the dark before the romance in this
Yes.
genre.
But on like the lighter side, Ignite by Melanie Harlow. Really, really love that. Single Dad Neighbor. The Nanny. I can't remember her first name, but her last name's Ferguson. It's slipping from me. But The Nanny was good. Single Dad, Nanny, romance. Yeah, the Mindfuck series that I'm reading right now is probably like one of my favorites that I've read in a while, but it's not hardcore smut or anything.
Okay. So many recommendations. Thank you.
Yeah. I hope you like that.